Good morning, YouTubers. T-Square with T-Square Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got a great video planned out for you guys today. Today, I want to talk about a few things that some of y'all know, some of y'all may not know, and essentially different price points to look for silver and gold. And here's what I mean by that. A lot of people may not know the difference between the silver spot price, the silver futures price. A lot of people may jump around from website to website looking for precious metals and noticing that the prices range really a big spectrum. I mean, right now we've got silver on this website at $38.89 spot price. But when I jump over to another website, we got it at $39.08. I jump over to another website, we got it at $39.05. A lot of people may wonder why the different price points. What is the difference between the buy and the ask? Why are all the prices different? Why do I look at spot price here and it says $38.75, but then if I look here it says $39.35? What's the difference? So we're going to talk about some of this today, and not necessarily are all of these, I don't even want to say any of them are necessarily cheats, but I do want to say you need to understand what's going on because it's important. Because if someone shows you this and it says $39.33 and then we add a premium onto that, you're paying more than maybe you should. But that's an opinion. So we're going to talk about some of this stuff today. If you guys enjoy the video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button, leave a comment, let me know your thoughts on anything I say. I'm looking for ideas for exciting videos that people are interested in. And hopefully you're not going to say Bitcoin. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. It's living rent-free in my head still. Okay, so also special thank you to all the members of the channel. We had our membership event last night. Bunch of members were there. We did it live. It was a lot of fun. Congratulations to the winner, DeFam. I think I pronounced it probably wrong, but I apologize. Thank you so much for being a member, and congratulations on the win. Leave a comment, shoot me an email, and we can get that prize worked out for you, what you want, and congratulations again. Okay, so right off the bat, as I always like to start off, I like to start off by showing the prices. Now, I'm going to do things a little different tonight. Normally, I'll just run through the prices and then I'll talk about what's going on. However, tonight, because pretty much all we're talking about is the prices, I'm going to kind of jump right in, talk about the prices, and talk about the differences in what's going on. So right off the bat, a lot of people wonder, what is the bid and the ask? So whenever someone has an ask price, that means they're asking that much money. That they want it. We'll just say for a quick minute, usually there's about a 5-cent difference, 10 cents difference between the two. And so let's say right now the bid might be, I'm willing to buy it at $38.75, and someone says I'm asking $38.80. That's the difference in the two prices. But then someone will cross that line and buy it. Now here's the thing. For those of us stacking, maybe a nickel don't make a big difference. I actually had someone get on my butt one day because I am ordering him the Legendary Warrior set, and I refused to buy it at the price that it was at. And he goes, dude, if you burn me on that set and don't finish it because you want to cheap out on 20 cents an ounce, I'm going to be pretty upset. And I said, you will get it. I'm not going to miss out. You're not going to miss out. We're going to finish the set. And so a lot of people don't really care about that big difference, that little difference, that bid in the ask. What is 10 cents, 5 cents, 20 cents? But here's the thing. All of these little things kind of add up in the grand scheme of things. And I know someone out there can leave me a comment right now and say, at the end of the day, the prices that we're paying for silver today are going to be nothing compared to the prices of where they're going to go. And you're absolutely right. Where silver is going to go, that 20 cents probably don't make a difference. But if you're buying, let's say 100 ounces of something, and we see a 40-cent difference, that's the difference between you getting 101 ounces or 100 ounces. That 1 ounce will make a difference down the road. If you have an ounce of silver versus if you don't, those extra ounces do add up over time. And so it's worth it to me to try to look for the best deals. Now, right now we have a spot price of $38.73, but we have a futures price of $39.33. So the difference is your spot price is the spot price that they're selling the ounces of silver for right now. Now, futures prices contract essentially. It's how much they're going to be selling in the future. They believe people are betting. You're seeing the price go up. This is at a predetermined date in the future. However, it's not the actual price right this minute. When you jump on a lot of websites now, some people will use this price, the futures price, because they might say, well, we're going to get it in the future, or we have a belief that it's going to go to $39.35 because that's the futures contract price. Some people will say, no, I've got the silver now, it's $38.75 an ounce, that's what I'm selling it for. And there you can have some opportunity if you look for the better deals. Now, all websites run specials. I happen to be on, and the 3 sites that I picked out, do not think that I am promoting any specific one. I personally have bought a lot from Universal. I'm not a big fan of Mr. Wonderful. You just saw him pop up a minute ago. I'm sure he's probably a nice guy, but I kind of was a little sour when he had the FTX scandal. Some of y'all may know him and Tom Brady pumped up a platform, I guess you can say, with Sam Bankman, and it went bankrupt. You guys can read about all that if you want in another video. Did the guy promote? Yeah, he promoted the company. Turned out the company went bankrupt and a lot of people lost, and then he defended the CEO of that company, which I was kind of against that too, after he basically was gambling our money. And that, I believe, is a big flaw in crypto that I don't like. But I'm not going to hold that against Universal Quintillion, obviously. They have him as a sponsor. He's a big name. A lot of people like him from Shark Tank. He definitely does make me laugh because he's so, I guess, non-wonderful, really. But it's kind of funny. I guess everybody needs a villain. However, I personally do like Universal. I like Universal because of the price they use. Look at this. Spot price, $38.88 right now. When you look at some of these other precious metals companies, at the exact same moment in time, we're at $39.08. So think about the difference there. 08, what did I say, 88. I mean, that's essentially a 20-cent difference. 20 cents does make a difference. I know some people out there will say, no, it doesn't. But, hey, that's an opinion. I'm out to save every penny I can get. And you see these prices change because of which essentially they're using. Are they using the bid? Are they using the futures? Are they using the spot? What's going on? All this adds up in the future into money that, yeah, you'll eventually probably make your money back on silver. I have no doubt in my mind. No matter what you're paying, you're probably going to do well. Only because silver is so undervalued as a asset, as a commodity, that I think it's going to go a whole lot higher. However, I want to be the one to make that profits, not somebody else today. I don't want someone else making the money. I want to make the money. And therefore, I need to get the silver as cheap as I can get it today, so that way down the road, I can make all the profit myself. I can recoup my money faster. Even though I'm not really selling it to recoup my money, it feels pretty good when you buy silver at, let's just say, $35 and then it gets up to $40. It feels like you made money. Yes, I understand some people will say you didn't make money if you didn't sell it, but you sure did gain purchasing power. Because when you go to sell it, they're going to look at the spot price at that moment in time. If someone was to buy ounces of silver today for $50 an ounce because they know it's going to go to 100, okay, that's great, but they might have to wait an extra month or two even for them to make that difference in, 40 to 50. So I don't want to necessarily give my profits to somebody else. Now, another thing that I hear people ask is, what is the right premium to pay? What is the right premium? So for those of you that don't know what premium is the amount over spot that you're paying. So if spot for easy math was $40 and you're buying silver at $42, obviously you're paying a $2 premium. That means you have to wait for the silver price to go up by $2 before you can even make your money back. Now, premiums are different. At every website, no matter where you look, they're different. And on every product, they're going to be different. I always get asked, what's the right amount of premium to pay? So the premium, in my opinion, is going to be based on what you're buying. I'm not going to lie. My son wanted a Batman ounce of silver. It was $54, I think. But it's shaped it's in the shape of a batarang. Batarang. I don't know if I said it right. Basically, it's a bat that, if sharpened, you throw it, and it's like a throwing star, a shooting star for a ninja. But Batman has these. He makes them out of metal in the movie. And they decided to make one out of pure 999 silver. Limited edition. It's pretty cool. He was willing to pay that extra premium. Now, if everything collapses, is he going to get his money back for that? Well, yeah, silver will go up. If everything collapses, an ounce of silver is going to be an ounce of silver, in my opinion. If inflation just keeps ramping up and collectibles keep pumping up, there's a possibility he may sell it for $60, $70, $80, $100. Who knows? At the end of the day, it depends why you're saving. Are you saving silver because it's a collectible, or are you saving it because it's ounces? I actually have one lady that I help out, and she tries to always pick up silver any chance she gets, as close to spot as she can get, or about $1 over spot. She don't like ordering online. She says, if you find anybody selling any cheap, even if it's beat up, I don't care. I'll take it. So that's what she's after. She wants as many ounces as cheap as she can. Now, take a look at this real quick, because I'm watching stuff fly by as I have different websites pulled up. So right here, this is a 100-ounce silver bar, 79 cents over spot. So this right here, when you think about it, 100 ounces is only going to be $79 over spot. Now, some people will think, okay, $79 over spot, 79 cents, that's pretty good. The downside of having a big bar like this is it going to be hard to liquidate a 100-ounce bar. Now, think about this for a quick minute, because the quick answer is no. Silver is silver, it sells itself, and that's true. How many people, though, can afford $4,000 for some silver? Not many. You know, a lot of people are just struggling to make ends meet right now, and they're just looking for a little bit of safe haven metals. If they can pick up an ounce or 5 ounces, we're all in different brackets, so we're all looking for different amounts of silver. So obviously it's easier to make a 100-ounce bar, so they don't charge as much of a spot. However, you come over here, that's a gram of gold. You got some Indian buffaloes, 1 ounce silver rounds at $1.49 over spot. But then over here you have some flag bars at $1.29 over spot. And I'll be honest, all of these are great deals. Some companies will do specials for new customers where essentially you'll get, where is it? Do they have the specials tab on here, or you just got to find it? Might have to find it now. Where they limit you. If you're a new customer, you can get, I know they have it on the phone. I don't know how to find it on the website, though. Different coins are going to have different premiums. A lot of it's based off how many are made. Is it a sovereign coin? Is it a generic round or bar? There's a lot of different things that people like when it comes to silver. And some people buy things they like and they don't care what the price is. And some people will buy things that are low, essentially, and they just want the silver. That's it. And some people like Morgans, peace dollars, constitutional. Everything has an amount of silver. But you kind of want to watch the premiums, in my personal opinion. I look for the best deals. I try to go to every website, and every website has some sort of special deal right then and there that will only allow you to maybe buy a couple. Sometimes they run specials on stuff. Right now, here on AppMax, they've got 1 ounce gold Britannia, $34.33. 40% off of its regular premium. I mean, everybody has a difference of opinion. Some people might say this company is higher. Some people might say this company is lower. It's an opinion. It's all opinion. Usually big companies, though, I believe that they try to run specials to copy other companies just to make sure that they always have the lowest prices to a certain point. This deal happens to only run for 9 more minutes if there's something on here. Me personally, like I said, I buy a lot from Universal. I've bought from Universal Coin and Bullion a lot. I trust them. I like them overall. I was good friends with one of the sales reps, both online and in person. I've actually met him multiple times. And, he don't work there anymore, which is kind of sad. I wish he still did. He especially took care of the people on the channel. I always felt like he looked out for a lot of us. And I'm sure there's other great people that work there still. I'm just saying that me and him were good friends. Needless to say, I apologize. I got something stuck in my throat. I actually just ate a little bit ago because I just finished up our August free silver event, which was a lot of fun. If you're not a member and you want to become one, it's only $1.99, and every month we do some sort of a free silver event. It's pretty cool. All you got to do is just click that join button below. If you want to become a member, it's worth $1.99. If you're on an iPhone, well, then you have to go to your internet browser, then go to youtube.com, then go to T-Square Talk, and then you'll see the join button or member button below. So I really want people to understand these things, because how much you pay for your silver and how much you pay for your gold, it makes a big difference. I don't want to see you guys get destroyed. I've seen some crazy prices out there. I've actually seen peace dollars one day. I got a phone call, and they said, would you be interested in some peace dollars? I said, oh, hey, wow, that sounds cool. Well, explain a little bit about what they are and tell me a little bit about them. I don't really know. And they, we noticed that you had filled out a online survey one time about silver and that you were interested in learning a little bit more about it. I said, yeah, I am. I've heard, I think it's doing well right now, and I don't really know much, but I want to get into it. And so they started their spiel. They told me about it, and then at the end they said, well, we got peace dollars. These are a great coin. We're selling them right now for $100 a piece. Limit of only 5 rolls. Super opportunity. You'll never see these. They haven't been around for like 100 years. Almost 100-year-old coin. And I'm like, well, that's cool. I said, what is silver right now? And they told me, it was like $37 at the time an ounce. If I was having this conversation now, they'd say $38.75 an ounce. And I said, okay, cool. I said, how much silver is in one of those peace dollars? And then came the backpedaling. Well, these are specialty coins. They don't make any more of them. They'll never make any more of them. And it's a sales pitch. And I understand some of you all that watch these videos are collectors. You're after rare coins. However, I have seen more times than I can count rare coins sell for lower prices because essentially people, they bought them. They're in a rush. They need the money. They need a quick sell. And honestly, any silver you have, in my personal opinion, there is no excuse why someone would take less than spot for silver. Spot price being right now $38.75 for. But needless to say, once you understand that anything else is collectability. It's if you can sell it. If it was spot price, they wouldn't have any to sell. They would be sold out. And I understand when someone tells you a limit of 5 or a limit of 4 rolls or whatever the case was. I could only buy like 4 rolls. I think they said there was like 22 a roll. So literally you could get these rolls for like $2,000 a roll. And you'll never see them again. And to a certain point, that's true. They're not making any more of them. But on the flip side of that, you might see them when someone else is hungry or needs money and they've got to sell their collection. I have probably seen in my time every single collectible come out of the woodwork at some point. For a while, people wanted generic ounces of silver. They were trying to get as much as they could, as cheap as they could. For a while, they wanted essentially constitutional junk silver. And it was in high demand. And now you look at it, it's in low demand, really. That's why you're seeing spot prices on generic right now. Or not generic, for constitutional silver right now. Stuff comes and goes. I will say, ever since I decided to want to look into accumulating a box of 500 Morgan dollars, I've had horrible luck finding cheap coal Morgan dollars. And what do I mean when I say coal? So, for some of you that may not know, coal just means a junky one. Beat up. It's whatever it is. It's nothing special. I don't know if you ever heard of a coal lobster. Being from Maine, if anybody's from New England and you've ever had lobster before and went and bought it, you've probably heard the term coal lobster. What is a coal lobster? It means basically they've lost an arm, a claw. One of their claws is missing, and so they sell it at a slightly cheaper price per a pound. Why? I can't use it in a fancy restaurant. If I'm cooking for someone, I've got company coming over this evening, let's say, and I'm going to do steak and lobster for everybody. Nobody wants a lobster that's missing a claw. Everybody wants the fancy. And so that's where coal comes in. You get it cheaper. Most people don't want a beat up Morgan dollar. They want a fancy Morgan dollar. And so if you take a coal that's beat up a little bit, you're going to pay a lot less for it. You're probably going to pay closer to the spot price. That's why I tell people the closer to the spot price you can get on anything, you're doing well. But understand what you're looking at too. I had someone come up to me one day and they had some, I can't remember what it was. It was like 80% silver coins from Canada. And he basically wanted 1 ounce price. He goes, I'll give these to you at spot. I said, what spot? And then he told me, and I said, well, technically that's not spot. He said, no, that's the spot price. I said, it is the spot price, but that's 80% silver, which means it should be 80% of the spot price. And he's like, what? And I said, yeah. I said, just like 925 sterling silver, silverware, silver plates, silver stuff, 925 means it's technically only 92% silver. So if you weigh it up and it weighs out at 10 ounces, you don't want to take 10 ounces of 925 sterling silver and count it as pure silver. No, you need to multiply it by 0.925. And that way you can get the actual silver price. So it's important that you understand some of these things. And a lot of people don't really understand all that. The safe thing to do is just pick up 1 ounce silver rounds. When I pick up 1 ounce silver rounds, I try to get them preferably under $2 an ounce. Now, how did I say $2 an ounce? When we just looked at some and they were $1.50 an ounce over. So also collectability in terms of what people like. The Buffalo round has been made more rounds than any other probably round or coin out there. There are that many Buffalo rounds. Most stackers do not like Buffalo rounds. Maybe there's a couple cool designs out there where they have a buffalo and an Indian and they've just done a good job and it's new, and so people want some of them, maybe a tube of them. But in general, people want stuff that they like or that they can relate to. I'll be honest, my son's looking for, I think it's Fortnite. The Fortnite video game ounces of silver. And there's basically 4 different ones. Maybe it was Call of Duty. I can't remember. It might have been Call of Duty. But basically there's 4 different ones, and they're selling for like $80 a piece. I got one friend, he's looking for a Jack Skeleton from the Nightmare Before Christmas, I guess, or whatever. Jack-o'-lantern, who basically steals, he's a Halloween one that steals Christmas or whatever. Needless to say, he's looking for one. He said he'd like to get one for $100, but the cheapest I've been able to find them is $150. I said, but if you look around, the deals will pop up here and there. And as it waits, as they have been out longer and longer, there's going to be someone that's going to get one, and they're going to post it online somewhere and try to sell it. Now, you have to be mindful where you're buying from. I'm not a big fan of eBay. Personally, do I buy some stuff off eBay? Of course. but you have to be mindful. You have to be prepared that you could get burned. I know some people out there will say, no, if you buy from a reputable company on eBay, you can't get burned. And that's true to a certain point. However, someone sent me a message one day saying that they seen ounces of Morgan selling for like $14 from Liberty Coin in Dallas. And I said, well, first of all, Liberty Coin is not in Dallas. They're based out of California. And most likely, if you're getting a Morgan dollar for $14, $15, it's a scam. It's under spot. A big company is not going to sell silver under spot. A mom and pop person that don't know what he's got, maybe he might. But if it's a bidding thing, someone is going to bid it up. People that know what he has will bid it up for him. So I told the person, like, are you sure? I said, I'm sure because I used to like Liberty Coin out of California until California passed its stupid rules about documenting who's buying silver. And essentially they wanted me to submit my physical home address, and they would only ship to my physical home address. And I said, that ain't happening. I said, I have a P.O. box under lock and key for a reason. I'm not sharing it. And they said, well, we can't sell to you anymore. And I said, okay, well, there's other people out there. I will say they have some good prices that I like, but I'm not willing to give my physical address to anybody. And that's just, because if I put it on eBay, let's say some crooked eBay seller out there sees I order a bunch of stuff from him, and he's like, where's this one going to? Okay, we're sending 100 ounces to this guy's address in Robstown, Texas, and at da-da-da-da-da. And all of a sudden, they're like, hey, I just had a 100-ounce order for this house in Robstown, Texas. All of a sudden, someone knows what I've bought. They don't know if I have it or I don't have it or what the deal is. But you run risk. Risk is everything. I try to limit my risk. So I hope I gave you guys a lot of good topics to think about. Definitely, silver is a great opportunity. Even at $40, even at $45, it's a good opportunity. But I don't want to pay $45 today. If the spot price right now is $38, I don't want to pay more than $2 over. So I might go up to essentially, you're talking 39, 40, 41. 41 is about the most I would pay. Are there a couple exceptions? Maybe if something is extremely limited and I know somebody's looking for it, then maybe I would. But in general, I'm out to stack all I can while I can. I want to be a winner when the price of silver skyrockets. I want it to change my life, because here's the truth of the matter. When silver does what it's supposed to do, there's going to be a lot of people out there that are devastated. They're devastated because they've lost everything they've spent their whole life working at. And now they're being forced to sell off what little bit they have to protect something else. Maybe a family's got 3 cars, mom's got 1, dad's got 1, and the kid's got 1. And all of a sudden, both mom and dad lose their jobs. Their house mortgage is due pretty soon. 1 car's got to be sold. Whose car do we sell? We sell one of these cars, sell it cheap. We get the money quick. We make the house payment, and we fight another day, essentially. We move on for another day later. And you just kind of, all they can do at that point is kick the can down the road. There'll be a lot of assets for sale. If you think silver and gold is going to plunge in value, I personally don't believe in that. I believe when stuff starts crashing, the big money is going to look where they can put their big money. Inflation is ramping up, and it sounds like they just decided they're going to give up the fight against inflation. It looks like we're going to see lower interest rates next month. And if that is true, that I predict that right, I mean, I know it's not much of a prediction because a lot of people are talking about it. But if it turns out that they gave up the fight on inflation, we are going to start to see numbers on precious metals really climb. People are going to say, well, you know what? If I'm not going to get any money for interest in the bank, I might as well take all my money out of the bank and invest it in something solid that will go up in value. And thus comes in gold and silver. Now, this is not financial advice, nor should it be considered as such. However, It's definitely something to think about. I want to be on the winning side, and I hope you do too. And there will be opportunity to use that silver for something good down the road. There might be a window where you see a little bit of a pullback, but over time, we have seen people come on this channel and complain about silver's never going to even break 20. And if it does, it's only going to break $20 for a month. And here we are now at 38. We didn't only hear that at $20. We heard it at 25. We heard it at 30. We heard it at 35. And we're going to hear it at 40, and we're going to hear it at 50 and 60 and so on and so on. And there's always going to be someone that sells their stack. I actually know a couple people that sold their stacks at 30, thinking they were going to buy it back at sub 20. They said, even if I buy my stack back at 25, I still got more ounces than I did before. However, we're not far from an all-time high on silver. Well, let me reword that. From a 13-year high on the price of silver. We're only $11 from an all-time high, but $11 seems pretty far away right now unless something bad happens. And then we could see a big jump instantly. I would not be surprised to see silver tap into $40 this week. Definitely in the silver futures market, maybe even in the actual spot price. A lot of people have predicted we would see $50 silver by the end of the year. A lot of these predictions came from people that are usually low on their predictions, which means the demand for silver, in my opinion, is up there. And I think it's going to keep going up there. And you have an opportunity to get in now and not say, I wish I had gotten in at 35. I wish I had gotten in at 38. I wish I had gotten in at 40. Because now we're at 60 or 70, and now I really can't even afford to get in. But it's up to you guys what you decide to do. Not financial information, but I thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you hit that thumbs up button. I think we went through all the prices. I hope we did. I don't even know. I got talking. Real quick, we got gold at $33.63. We got Bitcoin at 113,000 in overnight trading. We got the DXY dumping a little bit down to 97.88. As the DXY goes down, naturally other stuff goes up. We have the U.S. debt continuing to climb with no end in sight. We had our big giveaway this evening. DeFam, congratulations, you were the winner. And that about sums up the evening. I hope everybody enjoyed the video, the morning I should say. I'm filming this at 12:30 at night, so I might say evening a couple times. I apologize. Check out some of these other great videos. I try to post videos every day. If not a video, a short for the weekends. I try to post shorts. A lot of good information all built up. The shorts, I know lately I've been moving a little bit away from silver and into funner, more personal stuff to me. I hope you guys enjoy them. You know, I do the YouTube videos not just to teach people about silver and gold and precious metals and stacking and prepping and growing, but I also do these videos to kind of share with you guys, my second family, about what's going on, what I'm seeing, and sometimes my viewpoints on stuff, and it's pretty cool. I enjoy it, although I do a lot of stacking videos. So thank you all for watching, and have a great week. Monday, we got a week ahead of us, so it's going to be exciting, though. Take care, everybody. Have a great one. Bye-bye.